them come. This is their fate.
All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay, here with my near and dear friends, Jalen and Josh, where we come together, talk about some games, talk about some topics we want to talk about. Last time we was talking about Will Smith being slapping the world, but now we're going to be talking about some actual games, some TV shows maybe, sprinkle a little something in there every now and again that's different, but mostly this is a gaming podcast. But as usual, before we get started, Jalen, Josh, myself, tell the people how you been for the last 2 weeks.
Nah, go ahead, Josh.
Go ahead, Josh.
Why you always throw it to me?
He always evading the question. He said, I'm sick of this. I tell you the same thing every week. Go ahead.
Pass two.
Yeah, what even been up with me? I just work in school, of course. It's getting to the end of the semester, working on a lot of projects. But yeah, I feel like I've been in a holding pattern for the last 2 weeks. Just getting up, go to work, come home, do homework. Did actually play a variety of games in the last week. I guess we'll get into it, but yeah, otherwise, school's almost done. Summertime. J-Boy about to walk.
Summertime.
Head to the Windy City.
Windy City, man. Ooh, boy. Look, he been talking about that day since it came. Now it's here and he don't want to talk. He want to diverge the conversation. Jalen, tell us how you been, man. Time is here.
Oh, I mean, go ahead, Deontay. Oh, you thought I was gonna go. Go ahead.
Oh my God! You see this? Well, me, myself, and I've been just chilling. Had some family up this weekend, so that was pretty cool. Just got to hang out with the family, the twins. First time. Nope. Nobody's first time seeing the kids actually. So my mom, my sister came up, but yeah, it was just fun. They cooked dinner, had me some banana pudding, peach cobbler, had some good old food from the moms, and enjoyed the weekend. Now I gotta get back to it. Just yeah, but play some games, enjoyed the weekend, had some fun. That's all you can ask for, right? Look at him. Jalen.
Shoot. Yeah. Trying to think. How I been? I mean, I've been straight, man. I gave y'all that whole ordeal about Shorty that I was working with. But I mean, now that I ain't got to see her no more. We're back. Everything cool. So I'm finna graduate. I'm excited. I'm gonna have all my boys up here. Turn up. You know what I'm saying?
Black excellence.
Go in there, shake hands, say black excellence, and keep it pushing. Go back home. But no, I mean, I'm excited, man. I just been tired these last few weeks and just, I ain't saying neglecting responsibilities and stuff like that, but just kind of pushing things that I don't need to really handle like urgently to the side and stuff like that, and just trying to figure out, what's next, those sorts of things. But other than that, man, I'm blessed. I made it this far, and I'm finna, celebrate Black excellence. So I'm elated. I know I sound elated, but I'm like sleepy right now. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm finna go out with a bang. That took all the energy I had left. Now I gotta go to sleep.
He said, "Nah, I gotta die." He said, "I'm pretty sure y'all finna scream, nah." Man, I remember when I used to do like calls to like sales calls and stuff. Like you had to be ecstatic. You had to like the fluctuation in your tone and your that stuff. That stuff was like, oh my god, it was miserable for me because I'm naturally monotone. So you actually literally having to change your the way you talk and present something because they feel that. You say, you about to feel this. Let me tell you about this. I gotta yell at them. I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. This is silly. But yeah, that's what you gotta fake it till you make it. Make people feel like you're actually excited to do what you're doing. I know you're excited. You're probably just tired. But
Yeah, I mean, I got these exams and stuff tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I gotta like study and stuff like that. I'm just kind of. Then I've been trying to figure out what I'm finna wear to graduation stuff. That's been bugging me and stuff like that. So
yeah, man. It'll all work out. It'll all work out. I'm already trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear down there because I gotta go see Terrence and chill with him, and I think we was gonna go get dinner or something. And then I come down here to you. I was figuring like, should I wear something formal? Should I not wear something formal? I don't know. Still haven't figured it out yet. Might text you later about it. But yep.
for sure.
Let's go ahead and just hop into the games. Appreciate you guys giving them the insight that they always looking forward to. But let's start talking about some games. I think the first thing I want to talk about, because it's been like super. I just been covering a lot really on the YouTube channel, talking about it, playing with it. I'm talking about that sweet Steam Deck. This is a new PC from Valve. They just packaged it with controllers and a gamepad, and they kind of had this whole layout. They just basically packaged a PC into a handheld format, because that's what it is. SteamOS is pretty cool. I like it, and it's very functional and like robust in ways, and then clunky in others. But I feel like it's very upgradable and is very unique in that way where you can kind of tinker with it and make it what you want it to make it. So I really like the SteamOS on this Steam Deck, and we want to just talk through what we like and what we've been experiencing for the last few days, and yeah. So I guess I myself have one. Josh also has one. Jalen does not. We've been talking about it a lot, but it's more of that form factor, because we're going to probably talk about it in two ways. Talk about it from experience, somebody that actually know about the product, and then we're going to talk to Jalen about what the product actually is and why it's pretty cool, I suppose. And then what's some downfalls to it, because I need to be objective to it as well. So, not objective, but is it objective? What's the word? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Got to get the cons. So, first thing, I guess I'll start with one pro, and then I'll just shoot it to Josh, and then kind of go back and forth like that. So one thing I really enjoy about this stupid thing, and it's not stupid, but it's really interesting. But the one thing that I really enjoy is just the layout of the buttons right now. Like, I don't know why. It just feels better to play with than the Switch. I think it's more so because of how I didn't think I liked the layout as much as I do. The layout feels it just feels very good in the hands. It doesn't feel clunky. I feel like I can reach everything pretty easily, and when things get hectic, I can still, manage things. And then they give you so many different options with the actual touchpad layout for mouse and keyboard, like entry. I just think this like layout, man, is really, really cool. They give you the grip buttons on the back, so you got even more functionality in the portable mode, because you can dock this thing or desktop mode it and play like that. But truly, the experience to be had is in handheld mode, and they kind of really put their eggs in that basket. I mean, obviously, it is a full-fledged PC, but running this games at 800p, 1080p. I mean, is okay, but 800p is truly where it shines, and this on this screen is the cool functionality. So I'm gonna start off with just saying that layout. It's really cool. What you got for me, Josh? Something that you either didn't like or do like about the Valve Steam Deck?
Yeah, so I'll start with the layout like you mentioned, and like I guess go on to my own personal thing. The layout, I thought I would dislike it, but I feel like it works, and the reason why it works is because it's is like a multi-function device, whereas like the Switch and stuff like that, obviously you play games on it, but you don't do anything else like browse the internet, download files, and like you transfer and stuff like that. So having like the two track pads here, plus all the like customization options that you have in the menu to be able to change it, makes it a really just cool device to use. Because like what happened when I first got it, it was set up like default and everything, and so I switched over to the desktop mode, and I'm there trying to organize my files, trying to download stuff, install different programs, and it was like, all right, this is kind of clunky. I have to use like the touch screen and stuff. But I went in to the Steam controls and just like customized it. It was super easy. And now I have like a scroll wheel, kind of like the old iPod Touch. We do it in a circle on one touchpad, and the other one is directional. So I want to scroll up or down, and you can do that with like any button. And just so anything you don't like about the device is just like easily remedied because you just have 100% control over it. Um, Otherwise, I think that the buttons themselves are okay. Like I haven't had any issues with them, but I feel like I don't know how long they're gonna last, so I'm gonna have to like buy new buttons or things like that. It feels like better than I thought like the Wii U gamepad did, but not as good as like like a Xbox controller or something. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, otherwise, honestly, it's just gonna be like the ease of use. That's the biggest thing. Like obviously you can like do super complex stuff on it and it can become more difficult. But to be dealing with Linux, especially for like the first time for a lot of people, uh, Valve made it super easy. And then, of course, the Linux community makes it super easy to just do anything.
Yep, agreed. I think that's another one of those pros where the community there, it's in itself, has just had so much time and ability to kind of create stuff on their own that now just running on this Linux box, it's just kind of like they're making it super easy. They're programming things to make it very robust, easy to kind of understand, and easy for a quote unquote Windows user to get used to. There's times where you like I don't want to deal with the terminal, but then there's options for you not to have to deal with it at all. You can actually run those different types of files that allow you to just kind of execute on that versus actually having to deal with terminal. There's sometimes where you do have to go into the terminal and actually tinker or the console per se and tinker, but most of the time you can get a lot of stuff done with just GUIs, and that's one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of people with Linux is that they don't have a lot of GUIs for a lot of their applications. Sometimes you have to actually implement code in order for stuff to work properly, and that's a little bit nerve-wracking or scary for people. But the community behind this thing, behind SteamOS, Valve themselves, they're trying to make it very simple and simplify this for everyone. So having their own directory where you can go and download applications and not having to actually install it through that console or through the terminal is really really cool, and that kind of like I said piggybacks off what you were saying, the community, the Valve, and how they're really implementing everything on this system. So another thing that I want to mention as well for this device is simply how freaking fast. I did not expect the SD card to be a value, like an actual viable option to expand storage. I didn't think the SD card would actually work as well as it does to load games as quickly as it does, and not be a hindrance to you in regards to like, oh, I need a SSD upgrade. You truly do not need to upgrade your SSD. You don't need to bust this thing open and really go tinker inside. You don't need to do it, honestly. You can truly just deal with SD card and like run your games that way. And if you really wanted to, obviously you can still expand it. You can tinker with it that much and open it up. But truly, it's not. It ain't never been that steep, and you ain't got to do it. But if that's something you want to, and you want to use that's handheld device for all your games, I just feel like it's a waste because it's a handheld device. It's meant to take the games that you're currently playing on your Steam deck, on your Steam devices or your PC on the go. You shouldn't be playing 60 games on. It just like makes no sense to have it, expanded to like large quantities of space because you shouldn't even have that many games on your device in itself. Obviously, it's customizable, and obviously, I'm not telling you to not do something. If you want to do it, you can do it. But I think that's not the purpose of the Steam Deck. It's not to have your entire library on the go. It's meant to have a certain, curated amount of games that you actually want to play, and during that time frame. And then maybe if you want to just back it all up and swap out games from time to time, you can do so. So having a sweet spot of maybe a 2 terabytes SD card would probably do the trick versus having to have like 6 terabytes of memory. It kind of defeats the purpose. It's like, are you truly going to play everything you have downloaded? But I mean, if you want to just have it there to be accessible, fine. I just don't. Sometimes I feel like there's a middle ground of, accessing your game library and just being overly. I don't know. It's like you're gorging at that point. You're gorging on your library when you're honestly, truly, probably not going to play everything that you have downloaded on said console. 2 terabytes seems like a good sweet spot for me, and that's what I'm going to aim for. So I'm either going to wait for an SD card implementation where they have 2 terabytes, or I'm going to at some point open it up. Like I said, because they give you the options, it's never much. It's never much to do either. But the SD card has shown me that it is very much a viable option, and you don't need to necessarily upgrade that SSD. So yeah, SD card, pretty great. All right, what you got for me, Josh? Pro or con?
Another pro. I guess I don't know how to I guess it's kind of related to the community or compatibility, but just Steam OS in general, but like a couple of features that they've implemented.
Mm-hmm.
So number one I'll say is like the I think it's called Proton compatibility.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Basically, from what I understand, it's just like a it's just made to run Windows or non-Linux native programs
Correct.
through Proton, so it functions correctly. And like I didn't know what it was, but I feel like that is like 90% of the value, not the value, but 90% of what the system is doing well is through that,
Yeah.
because that just makes all these games and things like that you have that are Windows native. Obviously, gaming is like primarily on Windows or console, but brings it to Linux and it functions just like almost perfectly. I personally haven't had any issues with like compatibility, but it's
Mm.
like that is probably like the biggest thing that makes it um, stand out versus any other device that could do this. Because like obviously they're like Android systems and things like that have been around for a long time, and you can like put your PC games on there, but for the price, you're getting like such good software in it. It makes it just like almost perfect.
Yeah. Agreed that the software is really selling the console. It's like, again, the company Valve in itself. Like, I always felt like they had just like this mission to kind of bring gaming to the masses in a way where it's unique and they don't really care about the profit of it. Obviously, they want to obviously at some point they want to make this a profitable machine. Maybe the next iterations down the line. But right now, I'm pretty sure. Well, no, that's a guarantee that they're losing money every time they sell one of these because companies that's in this space right now are selling theirs for 1,000 and above, and they're starting at 399, which is amazing because this Steam Deck is outperforming all of those at this moment, outside of a few handfuls, and actually one really that just came out, and it's not that it's not outperforming it. It's like outperforming it in some degrees, and then outside in other things it's not. So it's still competing with it, and it's almost it's like a third of the price. So that just makes it that kind of puts it in perspective of what they're really trying to do here. You're trying to get this to catch on, to get the community behind it, and really truly showcase their ingenuity because at the end of the day, they have like gyroscope stuff. They have like all these different things that really just make it such a elevated machine. And like the touch sensitive pad or the analog stick, so they know that you're kind of initializing the gyroscope in your hands on the. It's just so many little things and tweaks that they kind of do, and even through Proton and running it in a Windows compatible funnel mode, it's still outperforming even the Windows native machines out there that's running the app natively. That's just a testament to their skill and their ability to really fine tune their device. So it's just really cool, man. I think we can get into a little bit of cons, but another thing that I want to mention as well, as something that really just kind of stood out to me, and I thought it was going to be terrible because that's what I heard a lot. I did not expect the sound to be as good as it is. Obviously, it's not the best sound I ever heard in my life, but it's doable. It's plausible. I'm playing Apex Legends, and normally I just try to have to throw on like a headset because I want to hear what's happening around me. I feel like these two speakers, front facing speakers, do a good job of creating that I guess that stereo sound and being able to hear stuff around you. I don't know, what was your thoughts on the sound, Josh, and the stereo, like the actual speakers there?
Uh, yeah, I think they're good enough.
Yeah, I don't think
Sometimes
they like
like
the
if you
best, but yeah.
yeah, because like it's well, it is a big device, but I feel like it has a lot of stuff in it, so it doesn't have a lot of space for like really big, strong speakers and
Hmm.
stuff. And of course, like the price and everything. It's good enough for me. Leaving it at like 50% or the default sound. It was a little too low, so I have to crank it up. But obviously, you don't always want to crank it up to the max.
Hmm.
But it works pretty good. However, it don't matter because you can just pop in your Bluetooth headphones or whatever. unlike
Yeah.
unlike the Switch for like 5 years. um, and
Yeah.
those work, and it even has like the normal headphone jack for like your wired headset and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's even if the sound is not the best, they give you options so that it's not even an issue anymore.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many like non-issues just because of how open this device is. You know what I'm saying? It's like you create the the type of device you want it to be from different types of software, unique things like even the small things like okay, I can't run Epic or GOG launcher. I now have the Linux community has created something to allow me to kind of run those games through Steam OS and kind of launch them through Steam OS, so I don't really have to worry about not being able to open up my Epic Game Store in GOG. And I'm soon enough, I'm pretty sure all the rest of them will come over as well. So it's just really cool to see that the community behind it, and it's not been that long. And there's already a lot of different things that have already been unlocked, like the another thing I want to kind of get into that's a pro is just the vast amount of updates that they're constantly pushing out. More recently was probably one of the biggest ones they pushed out in a long time, and that was the 40 hertz refresh rate for the actual monitor. So setting your refresh rate of the monitor, it's the screen itself. to 40 hertz, which allows you to one save on battery for performance, as well as if your games are not hitting that solid 60, you can run it at 40 and it still feels very much more smooth than 30 FPS. So it just unlocked this new potential for games that weren't really necessarily hitting it all, and you had to like do some compromises to the settings to get it there. You no longer have to do any of that. It's really kind of giving you that extra space or flexibility to kind of run those even more intense games. I haven't run across a game that I haven't been able to get to 40 at all. So there's been quite a few games I've tried on it. So yeah, I haven't had any of those types of issues yet. I'm pretty sure there's going to be something in the future, but right now, this thing is really, really powerful for the amount of money that you're paying. And all we're trying to do now is, fine tune, get it to the point where you get as much as your best battery life as well as your performance. And that 40 hertz is right there in the middle. If you guys aren't aware what your refresh rates mean and what they kind of do for you, it's basically how smooth a game or image just look and how many actual images it has per second on the actual screen. So it's kind of like this. It's kind of like it's just basically it's the smoothness of the game. It's truly embodies that entire thing. So if you ever felt like, oh, I feel like this game is a little bit slow, or its movement or speed is a little bit off, you're probably playing on 30 hertz or not 60. It's probably something of that nature, because 60 hertz is the standard for most fighting, shooting, all types of games. Most of the time, that is what allows you to kind of have that response time to quickly, shoot some enemy down, or maybe pull off that combo. It's all about frame rates, and that is what that refresh rate and all that stuff kind of embodies. A little bit different. Refresh rate is for the screen, frame rate is for the game itself. But once you lock those together, you're going to have a much smoother experience, because that 40 hertz screen is now refreshing at the same pace as your game, allowing it to feel a lot more smoother. So another cool thing, have you tried out the 40 hertz mode, Josh? Or did you go into the beta at all, or no?
No, I haven't tried it yet, but I've been reading a lot about it because it seems to fix a lot of. Well, I guess before the system came out, a lot of people were saying that it's like okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it probably was like beta testing and stuff like that. But like you said, the updates have come out very quickly, and it seems to be improving very fast.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that there are a lot of games that, no matter what, aren't going to be able to reach 60. They're going to float between 30 and 50.
Yeah.
And the 40 hertz mode is something that people were like hoping for, because 40 hertz, I guess, is not is better than 30, not as good
Yeah.
as 60, but it's better than like an unstable frame rate.
Yes.
So being able to lock it to there, put that there. And with a lot of games not be able to reach 60, like I don't know, like I guess maybe you can do Elden Ring, but like Elden Ring, for example, or like
Yep.
bigger games, lock it to 40, then you can have a pretty much stable experience, and
Hmm.
that's better than 30 FPS.
I did that with
Um,
Sekiro. Yep. So
yeah,
Sekiro is another one of those games where it's floating between 40. It was played between 50 and 60 for me. Knocking it
yeah,
down to 40 saved me on battery, but it also provides that smoothness that I was looking for. Much better than 30 frames per second. So it's truly a game changer when it comes to just performance and get what you're getting out the system in itself. Even with emulation, you can do it for emulation and things like that. So it's really cool to see how you know universal everything about this thing is. So I really just like how adaptive it is. Obviously, this is basically PC gaming to me in a much more well packaged format, because this you could do this all this stuff before. It's not like you couldn't. I just did not want to do it in a way that didn't make it feel like there was a unity behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has a Steam Deck. Everybody has the same the same setup, the same system, and the same graphics card, the same CPU, GPU, all that good jazz. So when I actually put time into it, I feel like I'm not only putting time in it for myself, but I'm putting in time for it for other people. And I don't feel like I'm just it's not like a you can catch a few people here. I can catch everybody with all the tips I'm doing because simply put, everybody has the same system. So that's why I really enjoy the Steam Deck. It normalizes PC gaming for me, and it normalizes and kind of it unifies everyone and what can be done on it. And it truly is a tinkerer's machine. But at some point, this thing is going to become so polished that anybody can mess with it. Anybody can do it, and that's the goal. And I can already see it's only been 2 months, and I can already see the drastic difference in applications and how you run stuff and what you're doing and how stuff is set up and the uniformity of it all and how the presentation, everything is just starting to get better and better and better and better. And I think that's really, really cool. So definitely want to be a part of that community and just kind of providing people those tips and tricks and what to do and what to look for. So you definitely gonna find that stuff on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I guess we could kind of go into some cons. But they're really nitpicky for me, honestly. But because I really don't have many, but I can try to give some. Um, my There is a big problem going around right now, and I think I might have it. I hope not. I haven't felt like the B button stick, but basically there's this defect in the casing of the system that's causing the B button to stick. That is a problem. So, I mean, obviously, it probably could be fixed with you know, sending it back to Steam, but that is a problem that's unfortunate. Basically, people's B buttons are getting stuck because of like a molding issue on the case itself. Maybe it's not like it's not strapping like as it should be, so it's causing that B button to stick. And I feel like on my right hand side it's a little bit looser than my left, so I'm assuming I might have this issue come up as I continue to play. So, but right now I don't think I have it. I haven't had it get stuck yet, but it could be a possibility that happens in the near future. So that is one of my cons, and I can kind of go into my next one. Have you had any issues with your B, or had anything that you kind of seen pop up that was like real unique?
Um, Nothing with like the buttons, but like I've seen enough people like talking about it. So it's on my mind. And already, like I said, I feel like the button quality, like they don't feel bad, but obviously they're lower quality than like other buttons on other
Hmm.
systems. Um, what I guess I don't have any real issues. Everything I have is like mostly software related, and that's
Okay.
partly stuff that can be fixed and can't be fixed. So one, in desktop mode, there are a lot of sometimes there are bugs or glitches and things that pop up. Like I'm trying to launch a program and it won't launch or stuff like that, and I got to restart the system. Or I'm typing in the keyboard and the keyboard keeps popping up and down. The
Hmm.
virtual keyboard. I switched to my own like Bluetooth keyboard eventually, but sometimes it still pops up even though I don't want to use it.
Right.
But those are things I feel like can be remedied by like either Valve themselves or like people will, come out with like a little update to fix those software issues. The thing that happened to me today that partly scared me was like I was on the gaming mode and I was about to play a game and it said install. It was like I already got the game installed, and so I checked my memory or whatever, and it couldn't find my SD card. And I was like, okay, so I restarted, and still the same thing, couldn't find my SD card. So I just ended up turning it off. Well, I didn't actually turn it off. I just took out the SD card, put it back in. It loaded for a second, and then it popped up. Um, and I noticed that happening because my SD card is almost full. because the day before that, it was what it was doing is like I was in desktop mode trying to move stuff around, and it was
Mm.
taking forever to load the SD card. So I think that
Oh.
storage, especially when you're doing a lot of tinkering and things like that, could be like a limiting factor. So, um, back up your stuff and everything. Hopefully, that's something that Valve can like implement some sort of like better safety features. Because I feel like if you put in like a full SD card right now, the machine probably would like crash. Uh,
No,
but
that's very, very much true. So, what I ended up doing was, I had to do a recovery mode. So, I put out a new video today about tips and stuff like that of getting started with the Steam Deck. But basically, what happened was I to elaborate on what I was talking about in the video, I ended up um, putting a game on my system, and what happened was I guess the game pretty much took it to max, or it took it really really close, or if not, it must have been like an update that kind of finished it off and kind of pushed it all the way to the max. So as I went into desktop mode for the first time, it has to install a few things in order for it to do that and kind of create that desktop mode for you. It didn't have the space to do that. So essentially it got put into a indefinite loop where it just kept constantly going back and back to the same thing, where it said can't install, error, please find out. And then basically the only thing that I could do to fix it was to recover my Steam OS. So I had to create a recovery drive, and that was one of the tips I was talking about in the video. Just create one immediately, because you never know what's going to happen. And another tip was to back up your SD card completely, because you never know what's going to happen with that. So both of those things were things that I was like, these are two things that I've recommend. These are safety precautions just so you can have in case something ever goes wrong. Obviously, the SD card isn't meant to be backed up, because that's what the SD card is there for. But sometimes you may want to just try to, put that stuff on another hard drive somewhere. So in case anything occurs, you don't have to re-download everything. You don't have to like create your emulation files and folders and stuff like that and go through all that work again just to kind of set it up the way you had it, or you can just do a backup file and that works. So you're absolutely right. Storage and creating those things is important, and having enough space for updates to download and really fill up the thing is important as well. So I usually I usually try to give them like 40 gigs on each part. I can't do so on my internal, because I only have the 64 gig. So I don't put anything on there outside of the OS, and everything else just goes on my SD card. So those would be like the recommendations. Just kind of create your recovery drive. You can just get like a 16 gigabyte thumb drive and just create one for yourself, because at some point you might need to use it. This again is I put it in beta mode, but I did that after I took those precautions, because I knew, okay, it's now more prone to maybe some glitches. It's more prone to causing an error. You don't want to update in desktop mode, but sometimes Steam just automatically starts updating on itself in desktop mode, and you're like, hey, stop. I got to get back to the regular mode before you do your update. So I got to hit cancel. Like stuff like that, you have to know and think about, and that is what causes the machine to kind of go from everyone to the people that's really going to be paying attention to those small details. Because once that stuff starts occurring, it's going to make you better, and it's going to make it easier for you to kind of understand their terminal and how Linux works. But it's going to be a headache sometimes. You're going to be like, I don't really want to feel like doing this. But trust me, once you get it set up the way you want, and how everything runs on here, it's just a really cool device, and I think it's well worth the time and effort you have to put in. But I totally agree with you, Josh, about the storage stuff. It happens. So it
yeah,
happened. So I'm assuming it's something about how it reads that SD card that causes that issue. But whatever the case may be, it sucked. but it was pretty fixable. I didn't set up much before it happened, so it wasn't like a big deal. But if it was to happen now, I'd be really annoyed. But like I said, having those precautionary steps in place will allow you less headache down the road. So I recommend doing so as well, Josh. Just getting you something to back up your SD card and something to put a recovery drive on, some thumb drive or whatever, kind of going from there, just so you can have those two tools, especially if you put it into that beta mode to get the 40 hertz. But yeah, I mean, those are really all the cons I had. I don't want to spend too much time on the Steam Deck, but we already have. So, any last things you want to say about the Steam Deck outside of what we already mentioned, Josh? Obviously, it's really cool for emulation and all that good jazz, but people know that already. It's a PC.
Yeah, I say that the biggest impression is I love it. It's been having a lot of fun, and Nintendo dropped the ball. So
Hey man, they dropped the ball big time, G. I was like, at this point, I'm just like, y'all really are. I don't know what the problem is over there. All I know is they need to figure out how to make their system more appealing. But until that day comes, we gonna be on the Steam Deck for a while. But yeah. Any thoughts on the Steam Deck, Jalen? Anything you wanted to care to mention before we move on to the Apex Legends update?
No, not for real. I don't really know much about it besides like it's a PC and stuff like that. But I remember seeing something about the emulation and then talk to y'all a little bit about it. And I mean, to me, that would be like the biggest selling point for me, at least. Put that PSP down, and I mean,
Put that
after all these
PSP
years,
down. Oh man,
after all these years, man. So,
that PSV, that mug still. I still use it sometimes, a lot of time.
I mean, you got
But
the
yeah.
Steam Deck now. You don't need it no more, right?
Nah, I don't need it no more. Nah, to be honest, no.
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. But okay. Well, let's move on to Apex Legends. Here the update for the Savior. Finally got a black guy. Nah, not a finally, but we got Bangalow's brother. We got Mary J. Blige's brother coming to the game. Jalen, how you feeling, man? How you feel about that, man?
I ain't even know it's a new character already.
Oh my goodness, I knew he ain't know nothing. Yeah, man, it's a new character. His name is Savior. No, his name is Newcastle.
or something?
Newcastle,
Yeah.
yeah. His name is
Oh,
Newcastle.
wait, I think I did heard that. Never mind.
Yeah. Black guy coming. What we thinking? His abilities are he got like
Black excellent.
he got black
No, he
excellence.
Shake your hand and leave.
He pull out black excellence and then leave. But nah, he has like a large shield that kind of brings out cover for like a certain particular part of the area. He also can revive people and move, so he can like start reviving you and move you behind cover or whatever. So he can move you basically while you're being recovered. And then I think his passive is like they haven't really shown it, but I'm assuming it's just some blocking of shield where not his passive, I'm sorry. His tactical is a shield that you put out and it kind of follows you as you shoot through it. So it's like one of those wall shields. You ever seen those in Titanfall, Josh? Those big old like see-through wall shields that kind of when you place it down, it don't move, but this one is supposed to move as you shooting. So if you turn to the right, it's supposed to move there so it can cover you. Turn to the left, it's supposed to move there so it can cover you and you can shoot through it. And then his actual ultimate is the big shield where it comes down and it's like a 3 pillars, and between those 3 pillars is like 3 small planks or 3 smaller pillars that kind of forms like a castle looking shield for the team. so that everybody can stand behind and shoot through and get cover. And then his passive, I'm assuming, is the revive shield and move them. While you can move them, revive them while moving, and I think that's it. But I think he has something else too. I don't think that's. I think his tactical has like 2 modes, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I don't know if you can toggle it where it's it's kind of just for him, like Gibraltar, and then it's the one for the big team, like the other one. So we'll see. But yeah, man, that's Bangalore's brother.
Okay.
Did you see Jalen? Did you see the Outlands, like the actual story thing for him?
Nah, I was just looking it up right now. I seen he was like in Bangalore. I was like, despicable. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool.
What about you, Josh? Did you see any of his like story from the Outlands or whatever?
I saw the first one. I haven't seen any of the more recent trailers other than
Okay,
the actual announcement trailer.
gotcha.
Uh yeah. But like even when we saw that first video, like I said, why didn't they put him in the game? He seems like because even in the video is about Bangalore, but she like seems like an idiot compared to her brother.
Oh, you talking about the one where when they first was talking and how, yeah, you talking about
Yeah,
the
he
very,
saved
very,
her.
very first time,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then she was like, "No, I'm gonna turn you into the IMT or whatever." Like,
IFC, yeah. I said, girl, you's a whole idiot. But yeah, my homie been chilling with his family. He forgot all about Bangalore. Bangalore been playing the games to try to get back to her family and find him. He just been ignoring her. He knew she was in the games. He ain't care. But basically, what happened is somebody, because he's not necessarily Newcastle. So he's not the one that lost 44 times or whatever, or tried to get into the games 44 times. Newcastle is a local hero to his city. He Newcastle though was basically in debt, and he was trying to pay off that debt by getting into the games, but he sucked, so he couldn't get into the games. So the mobsters came and they was beating him up or whatever. The Her brother, which why can't I remember his name, but her brother came and he was essentially trying to protect them. And at that time, they still killed Newcastle, the fake, well, not the fake, but the real Newcastle. He took all his gear and basically said, "I'm gonna join them," because the fake, not the fake, but the real Newcastle sold the city that his family lives in to these mobsters, and they basically said they were gonna burn it down because they didn't get their money. So he tried to join the games, and like the first time he tried, is basically he got in. So that is the backstory of Newcastle and why why when he was trying and attempting to get in and all this stuff, and they was at the party or whatever, she didn't really care for him, Bangalore, but because they basically didn't know it wasn't really his brother, so her brother, until the last moment where he finally went in. So I don't think, basically in the lore of the game, the people that run the games of Apex don't know that it's her brother. They kind of think it's that other guy that's dead.
mm,
They are
mm.
both black, so I guess that's why it works. If he was white
Black
guy,
excellent.
you're like, man, that don't make sense, man. But yeah, but it was funny because one of the lines he said in the game, while he was getting beat up and everything, he said, "Man, it ain't my fault. My teammates suck." He basically trying to blame his teammates. And that's it, man. That sounds like a real Apex player. Yeah, it ain't my fault. But yeah, if you go watch that, it's really cool. I liked it. But yeah, that is his backstory, and he's coming on May 10th. They're going to do a lot of updates to Storm Point, and they're going to be doing like new drop pods or whatever for looting. I don't know how they all work, but essentially they're supposed to give you better. It's kind of like, remember Bloodhound's little Hawk Arena where you can fight and get loot. Basically, if you go in these pods on Storm Point and fight and try to and take loot, servitors are going to spawn, and you got to kill them to get out, and then that's when you can take the loot and stuff. So that is what it's supposed to be. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is the gist of what these new pods are going to do. And they're probably be making a really massive change to Storm Point. Hopefully they make it smaller. Hopefully they make it more condensed. Hopefully it's more enjoyable, because that is going to be the map for the first 6 days. You know how they always do. And I really hope I don't have to wait 6 days to play the game, because I really don't like Storm Point. I don't hate it to that point, to that degree, but I just don't think it's an enjoyable map. So to be the only map for 6 days, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Man, go ahead, say it, man. Say it's trash.
Man, I ain't saying it's not trash. I'm not saying it's the worst, but I'm not saying it's the best. It's definitely the worst map in Apex, but it's not the worst map I've ever played in a game. Worst map I ever played in the game was still going to have to be Rust. Not Rust. The freaking shipyard one with the 4 things. That was a stupid map, but people loved it. Shipment. Yeah, that was a stupid map.
Man, you sound crazy.
It was the stupidest map ever made. Period.
Man, that map tight.
Oh my god, it was tight
It's
for
just
one reason only. If you got the upper hand, it was the dumbest map ever built. Period.
I mean, it's like a 1v, like a small game mode map.
But you could sometimes have 8v8 match, or so a 6v6. I think it's 6v6. I don't think it's 8v8. 6v6
I mean, that wasn't the
matches.
intention of the map, though. Like,
But that's what they would do on it, and they would sit you there. So if that was an intention of the map, it shouldn't have been able to be joined in. So I'm not trying to debate Call of Duty's maps, because a lot of them did suck, but that map in particular stuck out to me as the worst map I've ever played in a multiplayer shooter, not Storm Point. So, yeah.
No, not
right. Did I offend? Did I offend you, Jalen?
Yeah.
Is that one of your favorite maps?
No, it's just not. I'd much rather play that map with 6v6 game mode than play Storm Point.
How? It's literally 4 corners.
Because
there's nothing to it.
The purpose of the game is shoot people. In Storm Point, I'm not shooting nobody. I'm running across the map, and hopefully the ring don't get me.
Oh my god! I guess. Well, yeah. I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that, on the shipment. But truth be told, I'm ready for some type of difference in this game. I'm hoping that they're gonna do something different with, because they're supposed to have another map, but that's supposed to drop in the end of the year, not right now. But I'm looking forward to their maps. Like, their maps aren't terrible. I just don't like Storm Point. So once they make some changes to it, maybe that'd be a better map. But yeah, what we thinking? Y'all, you is that a new main for you, Jalen? Is that not? Does he get no notice?
I mean, I definitely try them out, man. That game they just like put me on Storm Point, so it don't matter sometimes. I mean, what good is the character if I ain't got a map to play on?
Oh my god. I guess. What you thinking, Josh? I know you like to play with most of the new characters. You thinking his kid?
Yeah, I'm
okay?
Try him out. I think, have we had a
No, not in a while. Not in a while, bro. We had Rampart. Yeah, that's the last one.
Is she support or is she the defense? Or do they
defense? Well, Newcastle is defense as well, I think.
Okay.
He's kind of falls in line with Gibraltar. So that's Caustic, that's Caustic, Rampart, Gibraltar, and now him.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
like
it's another
the movement and offensive
Watson,
characters.
but no.
Yeah,
that's a yes and a no at the same time. No.
But it'd be nice to have somebody different in the game, see how it changes things.
Yeah.
Because Gibraltar is already really good, even Rampart, even though she's not like the most popular. She's still pretty good.
Yeah, agreed.
Um, yeah, and I think that the main thing with like all the maps and stuff, I feel like I'm hoping that they can just settle on like a easier like playlist thing instead of doing like, oh, you play Olympus all day today, and it's not gonna come back for another 7 hours. Like that really limits like how we play because honestly, the map kind of determine. I mean, we can win on any map, we can have fun on any map, but some maps are just more frustrating than others. Like
Yeah.
Stormpoint, I know that they want to change it and improvement, and then have people like actually play it, but
Mm.
they're I don't know. At least there should be like two playlists. I don't think that would like mess up the matchmaking too much, but
No.
we'll see. See how it is. Launch week is always rough, like you said, because they could be 7 days on one map.
Hmm.
But yeah, we'll check them out.
Yeah, yeah. I think so.
Hopefully
I
he
think
don't
that's
got
see
trash
what he.
skins like Seer.
Oh my god, yeah. I
Mm.
don't like. I don't like. I didn't like Sears skins at all. But Newcastle might. He seemed to have like a weird, like an interesting look to him, and they can do a lot of stuff with the shield too. So maybe they can do some real like cool skins with that. Um, but yeah, I guess I'm not saying that this is the first black character, but this is the first natively American black character. I think that is the case. Seer is kind of
Yeah,
like Jamaican. I don't know. What is he? I don't know.
He from
I don't know. But
that boy from New Orleans, man.
no, I was gonna say he's from Africa, but they don't live on Earth. But his
yeah,
family is from like Nigeria or something like
yeah. It's like it's, you can tell. So basically, Bangalore was the female character. Now we got here with Newcastle. Representation matters, people. It's cool at least. Um, but yeah, uh, now they're gonna have like this beast on Storm Point as well. Um, uh, that they're gonna have like another location. I guess it's like this thing that they killed. Um, I just don't know what it's all about, but it's something that they're gonna kind of they want you to point. It's like another point of interest, basically. So we'll see, man. I like how Apex does it. I just I is there's other stuff that I don't like surrounding the Apex game in itself right now. Cross progression is really just truly killing it. I really just don't want to play. Um, I don't want to start playing because I really like my Steam Deck. I really like Apex. I want to play it on there, but I don't want to start all over and then lose it all because they're not going to combine everything. They're basically going to just lose those stats, lose what you've done. So it's no real point. It's like it's forcing me to play in a way where I don't want to, and that kind of that really makes me mad sometimes. So it's just whatever though. It's like they gonna work on their own time. They ain't even put 120 FPS in this game. Fortnite, Call of Duty had that junk since launch, so
that.
they on some trash. But whatever. Anywho, next thing that I wanted to talk about before we, kind of move into our last segment was the I don't know if let's see. We could talk about both of them in the same breath. So one, I just started um, the Halo actual series, and it's pretty interesting. I'm on season two. I mean, I'm on episode two, and um, right away they trying to captivate you with a lot of the different things that they're showing, and like some of the callbacks to the video game and things like that. It's really cool. But I don't know. I gotta see where it goes. They actually show Master Chief. Somebody's playing Master Chief. They show his face, and it breaks the illusion, but it also brings emotion to the character. So they had to do it. I feel like they had to do it. Have you seen or heard about any of the Halo Paramount Plus series, Josh or Jalen?
So I haven't seen it. I have heard about it. Um,
What have you heard, Josh?
so the basic Well, the basic plot of the first few episodes, obviously, like the some big events.
Mm.
The obvious he take off his helmet. Personally, I don't really care because it's not like actually a big deal. But I guess if it's not good or if it's not bad or if it doesn't match with the character, then people don't like it. But take off his helmet, fighting the Covenant. I hear that there are a lot of other like humans in the show, which some people like, some people complain about, but I think that has to make sense because in the game, there is no story because you're just fighting the Covenant. So having other humans
Yeah.
in the character in the game in the story is important. Yeah, even in the games where they have like other side characters, they're there to actually give it the story like weight or like a purpose. Um, a bunch of people getting naked because it's on Paramount and what rated R, so they gotta spice it up. And
Oh man.
then
Nah, somebody got blasted on first episode, bro. They
oh
lost
yeah,
both
people
legs. I was
blowing
like,
up,
oh my god, bro.
grenades
What?
blowing people up, melting people.
I said
Uh,
she went. They was out there just doing a little smoky smoke, and then all of a sudden my man's legs in the air. I said, what's going on here? I missed a few parts. I had to rewind it, man. I was just eating my sandwich. I ain't even noticing it happen. But yeah, it's very funny and interesting, and like I could see where they really did stuff well, and then I could see where they kind of not did stuff well. But overall, I think I need to just watch it as if I was watching some standard television show, and I don't have this whole background of information where I'm looking for certain things and making sure everything aligned, because at the end of the day, it's what they kind of want to introduce you to. So I gotta give them the freedom to kind of do that versus kind of nitpick every little thing that I see wrong. So that's where
yeah,
I'm at with it with Halo. Jalen, did you see
because
anything about it, or see like even like the production started or not started or anything like that?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. Well, basically what it is the Halo show. It follows Master Chief. He's on the road. He's on the road again. He's running from certain things. Not to spoil anything, but he's fighting the Covenant, and he had a few hero moments, but I'm waiting for those big ones to show up. So, yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's gonna, as long as they do certain things right in the way where they first introduce the ring and how that works and all that stuff. I think it'll be a cool finish show, and obviously the Cortana in there being ignoramus as usual, but she in there. But yeah, overall, right now, Halo in that production, I'm giving it, a a solid jump start. They're doing okay. It's keeping my interest. I just want to play. I want to watch the whole thing and kind of see where I stand at the end of it. But I saw something that they said in episode 6 was really good, and I wanted to kind of watch it and go through there. So
yeah.
yeah, um, pretty excited to finish it up. Probably gonna finish it up either tomorrow or Wednesday. But yeah, looks good. But
Yeah, I don't know
also,
if I'll. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
I was
say
gonna switch.
I don't know if I was going to watch it or not. One, because it's not canon, so that means they're
Hmm.
doing their own story, which is good because like they want to skip like 12 games and just make an interesting story. But at the same time, it's probably if you go in going to like look for that Halo feeling or like oh I want like a story that's like Halo Reach, and it's not that, then people gonna hate on it. So a lot of people online hating on it, but it seems like it's actually like a okay, decent sci-fi show. But since it's Halo, people hold it in higher standards than it needs to be. But
No,
hopefully,
yeah,
they already said they're doing the second season, so hopefully it gets better over time, and it's something that people actually go back to and like check it out if they liked it, if it was good. Uh, you know,
yeah. Yeah, I don't. I guess I didn't really care because about the canon stuff. I just was like, as long as it makes sense, I can play it. I can watch it because truly, I didn't think the story in the games were good. I just thought that Master Chief was an interesting character. So that was the whole, easy for me to understand, easy for me to get. He got heroic moments. That's what y'all sold me on. I played a few of the games. I was like, these are some heroic moments he's having right now. I want to see those. That's it. I don't really care about them following the storyline just the right ways or stuff like that. I like to see stuff that I've seen in the game, or like true to self, how the guns are animated and how it looks and the visor and all that stuff. That's cool. But outside of that, I ain't really holding it. Oh, you gotta talk to this person. You gotta talk to this person. Or this person came up here after, so you can't be talking to him now. Like, I ain't really care about that. I'm not the type of guy. But I do care about just making sure the character that they're gonna flesh out stuck to some of the cadence of what he was like in the games. I don't want him to be um, totally different. As long as but they have to do some things. Like, they have to break some modes because he obviously can't just be a brute that doesn't talk and only says one liners because he's running the show. He's now the main character. So yeah, we'll see. Overall, I'm interested and I'm going to continue to watch. And hopefully the season 2 doesn't disappoint, and if it gets greenlit. I don't know if it got greenlit yet for season 2, but hopefully it doesn't disappoint where I'm like, they can miss me. But the next thing, and just kind of pushing right into it, was the Halo Infinite update coming out. Is it tomorrow or Tuesday? I think it's the 5th. I don't remember.
It might be the 5th, but it should be on a Tuesday. That's where they normally do their updates.
Well, if it's on Tuesday, then it's the third, not, and the 5th is Thursday. The 9th, the 10th is the Tuesday. I don't think it's the 10th. I think it's definitely between the 3rd and the 5th or the 6th. So one of these days, sooner than later, we're going to get more content for Halo Infinite, which is much needed at this point. It's a pretty dry game. Have you played it since? The last time I played it was during the Ninja event, and it was a while ago. Not saying that the game is bad or anything like that. I definitely want to try to get it up and running on the Steam Deck in some way. But it's just that we was doing the same thing over and over, and I can get better at the game because it was actually fun beating people and stuff like that, and it felt very solid to play. It's just that it's really slowed down on actual content, and the whole battle pass, gear upgrades, and customization was very cumbersome. So I just was like, I wanted to get one set and be done with it because I didn't even want to deal with the whole uniqueness of the customization. But then they kind of dropped something on us that basically they were saying they're going to do away with the armor cores, and they're going to allow for you to customize your character exactly how you want. What's your thoughts on that, Josh?
Yeah, so I haven't played it in a while, but it's not because like I got bored. It's because I literally did everything other than like just checking in for the weekly reward, which I don't have time for that. So yeah, I finished the battle pass in like a month or so, and then I finished the campaign. And then their events that they had like 3 events on rotation. The samurai one was like the longest running one. That one I got tired of, but I finished everything. The other 2 are fine. They were only like for like a week or 2. Play a couple matches of like the unique game mode, unlock some stuff, and that was it. So the main thing is that their seasons are too long, and that seems to be like they are having issues with like delays and stuff. So the first season was, when did that game come out? November. And it's just now ending, so it's like 6 months. And their next season is also going to be 6 months, but they're promising like more variety of content coming out. So who knows? I'll still probably finish the battle pass in a month, but as long as they come out with like interesting stuff to come back. That's good, but I guess it needs to be more than just what uh, more armor. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, it seems like that's all the game has as far as like unlocks is the new armor. So I don't know. It's still a really fun game. I still like it. It's one of my favorite like FPSs to play. But they got to figure out their actual online service portion of it, where it's not actually as interesting, especially compared to other games. Even though people might be frustrated with like Apex or Fortnite or whatever, the amount of content that those are giving, or the amount of variety that they're giving every 3 months is much higher than what Halo has.
right. Do you think there's a need for a strong battle, like a battle arena presence right now? Like, are we wrong for comparing them to battle royales, or is that the cadence of what they wanted to strike? Because it's free to play, but it's a real it's in heart of hearts it's a battle arena, and it's not a battle royale. So when it comes to arenas, they tend to have to make or break on the modes, the things that they kind of have to offer at the beginning. But once you put those modes out, I guess what what is our expectation for a battle arena versus a battle royale? Like I guess I'm trying to figure out the tone of my requests, because obviously they're going to be giving out certain things like Forge. They're going to be doing new game modes. They're going to be doing new maps. But would it have been just better for them to create a generic, or the standard battle arena package of Halo Infinite multiplayer and put that out, versus trying to give this trip feed, service, live service game? Like, what would you? Hmm. I guess it's two
Well,
questions.
yeah, I don't think that it being like a arena shooter is necessarily bad because like even Call of Duty, they still have their um what is
Yeah,
it, 12v12, 8v8,
hmm
whatever mode
but it's
as on top
dying.
of it is I mean the fact is Battle Royale is more popular and more people are going to gravitate to that. More people are going to watch that online. And that's fine. I think that the arena games can exist in like their space and not necessarily like have to worry about Battle Royale. But if they want Battle Royale money and like it's a big AAA game and they trying to, compete with Fortnite, then they have to do more than the standard arena shooter stuff. What also hurt Halo specifically is that their content is not coming out fast enough, if it's not good enough to justify 6 month waiting period. Like a 6 month wait is like Destiny, and then like at the end of that 6 months, here you go, a big drop or something like that. That's gonna keep you going for the next 6 months. Halo barely has like a month worth of content that they come out with, and then they drip feed it out over 6 months. So that's the number one issue. If they did that in a battle royale, it would still be the same case where it's like Halo doesn't have enough content uh, for the battle royale. But I mean, I honestly I don't know why people feel like battle royale has longevity when realistically it's still like the same thing. Whereas like you jump in the game, you win, you lose, then you jump in the next match. That's the same as the arena shooter, but I guess it's enough variety and stuff like that, or it's like a casual match that it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they do, they just have to do it good. And I think that whatever they have right now is not implemented good, and that's the main problem. And they
No,
keep
I
talking about
agree.
they're gonna have a battle royale eventually. I don't know if it's gonna be like next year or something, but they want to do a battle royale. Um, it still has to be good. That's the problem. Like the gameplay is good, but this online service to keep people coming back and spending money or whatever, they got to figure that out.
Yeah. Um, I guess that you're right in that regard. I just kind of was trying to see if is there any real distinction between the two. Like, is there something that we should be holding this to a certain standard versus the other? But I think because they kind of pushed themselves into that live service mode, it's now it's now putting itself on expectations that they can't kind of currently meet.
Mm.
Um, and once they kind of start to meet those and start to drop things that are actually um, useful and really interesting to play and like new maps and things like that, I think that's when they kind of get people to come back. I'm definitely going to try the new maps. I'm definitely going to try out the story and kind of see where it kind of what it brings to the table, um, like the actual multiplayer story, not the regular story. But and see what that kind of if it like provides any unique events often, because that's what they said it's going to do. It's going to spawn unique events. It's going to create more content for for people. So I'm
Mhm.
interested in seeing how they kind of what they do from there. I never seen that kind of implemented in a multiplayer mode. It's just like story outside of Titanfall trying to do something like that. People not liking it. So we'll see. We'll see how that kind of goes. Um, I guess Jalen, what's your thoughts on Halo and what could they really do to get you interested, or is it just pretty much a wraps on Halo for you?
Uh, I don't really know. I mean, y'all kind of, I might articulate it in a previous episode, and y'all got an idea how I feel about Halo and stuff like that. I mean, I honestly don't really know what they can do to keep the game Halo, but like modernize it more and make it more like appealing for me. But because
Mm-hmm.
of all my Halo fun is like was within the nostalgia, all the new stuff they did. Like I don't feel like it's. I mean, I played the game with y'all and stuff like that, but I ain't find that game to be like, man, I love this game. Like it's just kind of I
Yeah,
don't know. So basically, I don't really know what they can do to make the game like really better. I would be interested in seeing like a Halo Battle Royale kind of, which I had talked about and stuff. I don't know how they go about doing it, what would make it different from other Battle Royales or better for that matter. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
yeah. Has our sense, or I think my taste for battle arenas has diminished a little. Um, Not a little, a lot. Over the years, I used to really enjoy the Call of Duties of the world and the Halos. Oh, I no, actually never Halo. It was always I was a Call of Duty guy, and then I didn't switch to much else outside of Battlefield. I went to Battlefield for a little bit, and really those were the top two. Was there? Is there any other shooters? Then when Titanfall came around, that was it for me because I was like, man, this is like so much better in a lot of different ways. Uh, and I was like, I could play this all day. And then Titanfall 2 came out and it was really good. And I think I ended up playing more of, nah, I ended up playing Call of Duty. I ended up playing more Call of Duty, I think. I don't remember what came out during Titanfall 2, but I think it was something I think it was the blackout mode. I don't remember. I think it was that stupid blackout mode where for the original battle royale for Call of Duty. I think that's what we was playing, but I'm not 100% sure. I know Black Ops 3 took a little bit of my time. I know those specialists with those stupid when he dropped those stupid EMPs into the ground or them with the slam sticks, whatever he was doing. That junk was stupid. The animations were atrocious, but I remember playing that game for a little bit. But after a while, man, I don't know, something changed where it just was not interesting. I think the lack of um, the lack of intensity of having one life and you having more than one life and being able to really just not care about the team and at points you just not care to win and you like most people out here just camping not even playing the objective or whatever and it just started getting to a point where I was like I'm not really into this Twitch gaming anymore. I'd rather prefer something slow that methodic and has some like um, underlying strategy to it. So I think that's when I kind of switched to. That's when our Rainbow Six Siege started to hit for us, and we started playing other stuff basically. So I think not only did they, I mean, even if Halo made the perfect game again, I don't think our interest would ever. Well, I think me and I don't want to speak for Jayla, for myself, would ever be peaked as much as it was previously. When it came to a battle arena, I think it'll always be that feeling of, yeah, it's cool, because that's what I think Halo did. I think Halo Infinite did that. I think it created the perfect gameplay, maps, and so that initial 3 months, that game could have probably hooked um, myself 6 years ago. But it just can't do it now. But I still enjoy to play it, and over time, as I continue to play that game, I could see that there's a lot of care that went into it, and that's what really caused me to say I can definitely give this my time. So, but
So you feel
it
like
shouldn't have
the
took that long, because normally it wouldn't. It'd be like a week, and I'm like, I'm hooked. But it took like a month and a half for me to be like, okay, now I'm gonna play this consistently, and I want to get people to join in and play with me because I find it enjoyable.
so you feel like it's the large teams and also the single life that makes the game more appealing, or like
For
initially just get you more like into it.
for battle royale, absolutely, because it makes it feel like you only have one life to live, and you have to make the right choices, and it has a lot more stakes to it, right? Obviously, you can just die and go back in, but it makes you want to stay with your team, really fight to keep the team alive, and it has a lot of that camaraderie to it, where you're camaraderie. I don't know if I said that right. It has a lot of those points in the game where you have to really sync with your team and kind of have that synergy, even when it's like trying to revive someone and bring someone back in, like that whole revive system. It's not new, but it's new to that game, and how it works. It's very unique in that way, where you're kind of fighting a battle, and that one life you got, it's depending on not everyone else is depending on you, that's on your team, to kind of bring them back into the game. So absolutely, I believe that when done right, a battle royale, that's why I can't play nothing else. Apex Legends is top tier for me, because it just has so many parts that are unique to it, that allows me to feel comfortable with that game and that game alone. Like, I'm
Sound
not
like you
gonna
should play
play.
Counter Strike or Valorant.
No,
One
because
life,
those
one bullet.
games, those games are very much so they're like strategy, but to me, they still fell into that battle arena mode. In my opinion, it just feels like that, because it's not a true map. It's like an arena, and I don't know. It just doesn't fit the bill for me. Counter Strike, Valorant, they just fit that quick response, quick timing. That is really truly your biggest goal. Your skill, your timing, your ability to shoot and be good at it. I don't have to be a good shooter in Apex. I can literally be someone that's just really good at keeping a team healthy and alive. I could be a Loba. I can sit there and just buff the team. I can give them the stuff they need, give them the ammo they need, give them the iron sights that they need. I can be the person that just gets away. I can be the person that throws a bunch of grenades. I could be the person that's helping with revives, and locking down a system, locking down a room, so that we can stay alive. I can play so many different roles that it's not to the point where these skills are the most important. Obviously, shooting, mobility, movement. If you're really good at that, you're probably going to be one of the top tier players in the game. But to have a good time in the game, you don't gotta do none of that. You just have to be able to use your abilities wisely and move with the team. So, um, I think that's what battle royales do. Battle arenas, they make me feel like, and Halo does a really good job of masking it. I ain't gonna hold you. Like Halo Infinite makes me feel like I can take on more than one person at times. But most of the time you get on your 1 2 kill streak, you're gonna get pops from somebody coming out the left field. If not, you're probably really good at the game. And once you're good at the game, I feel like there's nothing else to achieve outside of continuously stomping on people that you're not. Like Destiny, the only reason that one really made sense to me to continue to play it constantly is because I was always going in there with new weapons, new gear, new items to kind of play around with and see if they break better than the rest. That was the loop. It wasn't that the game Crucible itself was fun. It was me trying out a bunch of different stuff, going there with the Vex Mental Class, with the Plan B, with all those stupid weapons that they provided you to go in and kill people with. It was that was the fun. That was the interesting part. So that uniqueness of having that always be the case when you're jumping into a battle and you're not even you don't maybe you don't have the same equipment that you had before, maybe you have different abilities now. That randomization is really what causes the battle royale to have that replayability. I'm just trying to decipher why I feel like that, why I play one other than the other, but I'm talking too much. All I'm here to say is that Apex Legends probably gonna be the game that I gravitate to mostly. I'm hoping for something good to come out really that would help, revitalize the FPS shooter in a way that's really fun. Halo Infinite is the best bet for me right now, and I just want them to kind of get better and creative with their modes. Once the Forge drops, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some lot of fun in there if we play it. But I mean, it's just community based stuff. Why wouldn't we? So that's what I'm waiting on. I think that's gonna really change their whole, the whole game for a lot of people is their Forge mode. So hopefully it's done well and people can really, have a good time in it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't really have anything else to talk about. We talked about what we needed to, and we talked about and what we didn't. So it is what it is at this point. Any last words for the people? Any lasting thoughts before we get up out of here?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't even touch it really. But Overwatch 2, I guess coming out soon.
Is it coming
And
out soon, truly?
the beta is now, or like the invite only beta, and then it's supposed to come out later this summer, I think.
Did
We'll
you watch
see
your
if we
4
actually
hours?
gonna.
Did you get an actual invite?
Yeah, I watched it. I haven't played it though, because I haven't actually because I've been doing homework. But
I don't think I
I
got
don't
an
know.
invite.
I don't know how people actually feel about it. I've been seeing good stuff. I've been seeing mixed stuff. A lot of the Overwatch people are not happy that it's less hero shootery and more. Um, they say it's more in line with like standard shooter and less like Overwatch, where everybody had like a bunch of unique abilities and stuff because it's 5v5 instead of 6v6. So we'll see if that makes a difference, if that's better for you or not, because I know that you weren't really into Overwatch. But we'll see. I guess as the game gets closer.
Yeah, we'll see. That's another one of those polished games that deserves a little bit of time, even if you don't like it at the end of the day. But Overwatch has always had a cult following, and it always has done things well enough for me to even to try it, and maybe I can get out my mode of just playing with Lucio and Soldier 76 and play with somebody different. I mean, McCree was cool too, but that was about it. I never ventured out farther than that. So we'll see. I know there are new characters. One of them seemed pretty interesting as I was watching that 4 hours, but didn't get my beta code, which I was annoyed about. But we'll see. All right. I want to thank you guys for listening as always, and we will talk to you guys in the next video. But thanks for watching. Peace.